Hello, Albertans.
Hello.
This is just amazing. Every week this crowd grows. The response is just overwhelming. Thank you for being with us to stand up for our wonderful country and our way of life. I am Karen Dickson, the other half of David Karen Dickson. I'd say the better half, but he won't let me probably get away with that. Who many of you have seen here and know from Facebook. We are proud to be at the Alberta Legislature with Josh, our angry Albertan. With the speakers today and with all of you to stand for freedom, for ourselves and for generations to come. Thank you to both the sheriffs and to EPS for their continued efforts to keep us all safe at these events. This week, we all watched the scenes from Washington with overwhelming shock and sadness. But what we must understand is that this global unrest is no longer simply drawn along political lines. What we are seeing play out in the United States and beyond is a cry from humanity at its most primal level. The human race has spent a year in a pressure cooker as a direct result of the response to COVID-19. Division between families, friends, colleagues, at every level of society, in every institution, organisation and country, has been slowly and surely brought to the boil. This is what happens when truth and transparency is suppressed, when censorship silences debate, and when corruption in politics is rife. The public loses trust. And here we are in Canada. Our home and country is recognised across the world as a peaceful nation. But even the most passive have their tipping point. With this in mind, I ask all of us, so polarised in our opinions right now, on both sides of this debate, to remember that violence solves nothing. It is more important than ever for each one of us to set the standard for tolerance, understanding, and respect. That is the only way forward. Attempts to dismantle, undermine, and overthrow the foundational pillars of our democratic and civilized society cannot be tolerated. But that security depends on a truthful and transparent government, a fair and just legal system, and a police force who will serve and protect us. To all those in these privileged positions of power, especially government, elected by Canadians and sworn to act in the best interests of Canadians, please take a long, hard look at all of us gathered here today. We are hard-working Albertans. We are law-abiding citizens. We are parents with children. We are seniors and veterans. Revolving lockdowns and restrictions are turning our dreams to dust, our lives into mere existence, and our hopes to despair. And yet, as angry, frustrated and hurt as we all are, we all come here for one purpose: to demonstrate peacefully and respectfully in words and actions, to do everything in our power to make a difference. And this protest in Edmonton is making a difference. The Angry Albertans live streams, podcasts and pages, our speakers and David's research papers are reaching hundreds of thousands of people every week. We're connecting businesswomen like Brandy, who will speak here today from across the province, and together they are uniting to keep their doors open. It is all of us who rallied to pull Scarlett's bowling business from the brink of bankruptcy. We are advocating for those who have no voice, for our children, for the most vulnerable in care homes, and for healthcare professionals who've been threatened if they speak out. An Alberta safety expert has spoken here many times on the risks of wearing masks. We have raised concerns about the risk of the COVID-19 experimental vaccine. James Kitchen, a lawyer from the JCCF, has spoken here about our rights and freedoms. All these speeches can be found on YouTube under The Angry Albertan. The media have done their level best to discredit us. Counter-protesters last week even assaulted our group. But the truth cannot be silenced. We will not be silenced. And best of all, this makes my heart happy, we're keeping Jason Kenney awake at night. Thank you. Every Albertan. Thank you. Every Albertan who wants their life back needs to resolve to take a stand in 2021. Small business owners, you need to join with others who are opening their doors this Monday. You've been put on notice by Kenney for weeks. You need to fight back. Show Costco, Walmart and the big box bullies on the block that you mean business. To all Albertans who don't want to wear a mask, for whatever reason, take it off! The Provincial Order 42/2020, Section 24, please write it down, has more mask exemptions than ever the city bylaw did. Carry the order with you, quote it, and go unmasked everywhere you possibly can. Smile at everyone you meet. As Josh said, almost 50% of this province saw their family for Christmas. We were one of those families. My mother was the only resident to leave her care centre and be with me for the holidays. I was supported by her carers in this decision. They have seen that neglect and isolation puts these residents in far more danger than the risk posed by this virus. Meet with your family and friends. Take control of your health and your life and make this madness end. Exercise your right to choose. I have a personal message for Jason Kenney and Dina Hinshaw. Our family will never wear a mask. It is unfit for purpose. Our family will not take a COVID-19 test. It is unfit for purpose. Our family most definitely will not be taking your experimental COVID-19 vaccine. It is unfit for purpose. I'm starting to wonder just who in charge of this crisis is fit for purpose. To the compliers and deniers of what is happening in our world, I say, with all due respect, stop hiding in fear and living in ignorance. This doesn't go away if we all just follow the orders. The most frightening part in all of this is those of you who are just following orders. Look at this crowd. We are at an inflection point. You have a decision, the most important one you will ever make in your life. Speak out and tip the scales for truth and justice for us all. Finally, remember that fear is the real virus. Many people wearing masks are genuinely afraid. A few weeks ago, there was a man who attended our protest. He was alone. He was wearing a mask. He was carrying a sign for his children who've lost the last thing in life that they love: hockey at their local rink. He moved to the back of the crowd after a well-meaning protester asked him to take off his mask. I caught up with him and he was overwhelmed with emotion. I thanked him for being here, for supporting his children. He was shaking with fear, but he shook my hand and said he would come back. Thank you. I really appreciate that. We are the resistance. We are the ones who have to reach across this divide. We have to change this climate of fear. And I know that where we go, fearlessly, peacefully, and kindly, the rest will follow.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Another huge round of applause for Karen. Thank you, Karen. You're amazing. My friends, do you love your rights? Do you love freedom? Do you love your rights and freedoms? Well, we stand for the rights and freedoms of all Canadians. Let's once again let our government know loud and clear that our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate. Our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate. Our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate.